Mitch Bone, and Tony Legale. Tony, how have you been, man? It's been a long time since we've been doing this.
It's been a long time. I tell you, my friend. It's
It's
been real long, Mitch. And
it's been about a month. I actually looked it up. It's been about a month
well,
since we've done a show.
well, it's because our ratings were so high last month that we weren't sure that we could compete with them this in October, in the month of October. And it was, quite frankly, it was a little scary. It's a scary month. It's a
It
scary
was
month in
a
itself.
scary month, busy month for all of us,
All
and
of sports.
yeah, sports
Like
were crazy. I mean, just our day-to-day lives were crazy. It was just a crazy month.
crazy month, man. Yeah, it like seemed like everything just kind of like you wait all year, that anticipation for the fall and the seasons and the NHL, the MLB, the NFL. I mean, it all comes to a head. We had a little drama, obviously, with the World Series, but not much. It was pretty much a landslide. But once that kind of ended, it all started to kind of slow down for us, and I think
Yeah,
which is fine. We didn't emphasize it too much, quite frankly. You know, I wasn't rooting, or I don't know. I just kind of wanted to see how it played out. Obviously, I'm a Yankee guy, Yankee
yeah.
fan.
Don't let him fool you. He was full on rooting for the Yankees. I went to his house before Game 4. They were all like, "Let's go Yankees! They're gonna come back," and it's like, no. So on that, what the heck happened that last game?
Oh, it was the same problem, Mitch, that I gave up on those guys. And if I think it's about 6, 7 episodes ago, that I proclaimed my Yankee hate for the year and decided to go with the Phillies because I just simply couldn't watch this team continually have their bullpen disappoint everybody else. Like Yankees didn't have the pitching, they didn't have the bullpen. Like, I mean,
They didn't
quite
have the
frankly,
defense. Their defense is what failed them in that last game.
defense. I mean, defensively, but you play pretty good. I'm going to tell you, you play pretty good defensively. Just baseball stuff. You play pretty good defensively when you got a guy that you can get behind.
Yeah,
Okay, and a guy that shoves and fills it up, and that just simply wasn't the case. I knew it. I figured. I thought there's only one way for these guys to do this, and that's for Soto to absolutely go off every game, which didn't happen. Although he
nope.
was hands down the MVP for the Yankees, outside of Giancarlo Stanton, which came out of nowhere because I typically don't necessarily love to watch Stanton because of that outside slider that he just can't lay off of. It's just frustrating watching that over and over again. But hats off to that guy. I mean, geez, so what a series, what a postseason. I mean, who'd have thought?
Yeah, I honestly didn't think that the Yankees had it in them. I thought it was the Orioles who were going to be in the World Series. So
Yeah, yeah. Someone with just some dog in their fight.
yeah,
Like I really did. And I watched them all year. Well, up until about 4 weeks before the season got over because I was just tired of it. I was tired of watching Clay Holmes come in and throw his wild sinker and have Boone
yeah,
do nothing about it. Or I mean, there's not another guy we can bring in to fill up the zone and at least get ahead with a fastball and stay ahead.
right.
And I understand it's a tough game, and I have a lot of grace for those guys. And I think Clay Holmes is obviously a world-renowned athlete to a certain extent because he's in the show. But
Well, yeah, everybody in the show
I
is
just,
good
I
unless
just,
you're
I
on the A's.
exactly. But I just meant like I feel like that could have been handled differently. The guy led the league in blown save opportunities for the
Yeah,
whole, like, probably set a record. Like I said, this show strictly all facts, right? But
no, but he did blow a lot of saves this last year. I don't
it
remember
had
the
to have been a
exact amount,
record.
but
It had to have been a record.
could have
But
been. I honestly don't know.
I couldn't continue to watch the laser show in regards to the Soto, Judge, Stanton, three-headed monster just carry those guys anymore. I was pleased to see Anthony Volpe, break out and make great contact every single time. Verdugo kind of, did okay. He put the ball in play and he was a dog. He had a little bit of dog in him, but they just simply just even Judge. I mean, like, I don't know, man. I mean, I appreciate him hitting the long ball, and I think he's definitely one of the top faces in the game. So nothing,
Yeah,
obviously, there's nothing that I could say that he would care about. But get excited a little bit,
Right.
I don't know, man. You're hitting doubles in the gap to, get your team going or whatever, and you're just on base and you're just, yeah, it's like, no, bro.
I feel like that's a little bit of the Yankees, though.
Bring the intensity, man. There's
Yeah.
no intensity there. The only guy that's intense is Soto.
Yeah.
That has that let's go, baby. Like, like even
Yeah.
Giancarlo, he might be just damn near surprised himself because it seemed like every time he hit a bomb, he was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude. So they just really couldn't piggyback off those guys, and pitchers threw strikes or whatever. But let's just be frank. The Dodgers are a fantastic team, probably the most stacked team I've ever seen in my entire life, hands down.
Oh yeah, I think I said on this. If I didn't done this, I said it in person.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, they should have just given the Dodgers the World Series trophy,
Well,
and
yeah,
not even played out the season.
Then they go get Flaherty and Tommy Edman, like superstars. I mean, maybe not so much. The high caliber players, definitely.
They're upper echelon. They're not superstars, but they're definitely better than a lot of people.
They're going in the top 4 rounds, I guarantee you, of fantasy baseball drafts.
Definitely Flaherty.
Yeah, definitely Flaherty. Well, even Tommy Edman, stolen bases. I mean, the guy's.
That's true. Edman's kind of a Swiss Army knife.
He really is. He's a great player. I really enjoy watching Tommy Edman. So,
yeah,
obviously, congratulations to the Dodgers. I mean, they did it right. They had the dog in them. They have Shohei. They got Mookie. How do you not root for those guys? And of course, you got the biggest home run Freddie Freeman's ever hit in his life.
Yeah, that was really cool. I love Freddie Freeman.
4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah. So I did a little fact checking because even though this show is completely factual, we do want to back it up every once in a while, right?
Right.
So Clay Holmes had 13 blown saves this year.
Doesn't surprise me. I thought it was higher. I thought it was 16 actually.
And the record is 21.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
By a team. So he may have the individual record.
Ooh.
But by a team, it's 21.
I think if that was a stat, that would make light of that.
Yeah.
Like individual record. But, day after day, why are we putting this guy in pressure situations? Like, I understand trying to get a guy going. I do.
Right.
Like put him in there, just keep consistent. Plus, that's all they had, too. It's not like they were, had closers at will or, other pitchers available, So, they made do with what they had. It just simply wasn't even comparable to the Dodgers. Let's be honest.
No, the Dodgers had literally every. I don't even think did they pitch Kershaw?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know if they even pitched Kershaw, and that's like the GOAT.
I mean, yeah, Buehler was going in to save the game. Buehler's got the last 3 outs.
Yeah,
he's a starter. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, Yankees go up 5-0 in that last game, and I'm like, okay, here we go, maybe. And then, wow, how do you blow that deal?
I have no idea how they blew it,
but
they did.
First, but quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of watching Anthony Rizzo. Like, I think he needs to hang him up. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. You can't rely on him to get a hit.
Nope.
And I love Rizzo. I really do. I love Rizzo. I really, really like Rizzo. I like how he plays the game. I like his style, I like his swag, but I'm just over it. It's gotta go. And then you hit the guy 6th. Hit him 6th. It's like, okay, one of the most important RBI spots on the team, and you put the guy that can barely put it in play. There was a stat, hadn't hit a home run, and forgive me for butchering this, but it was like 123 at bats.
Yeah, no, it had been a long time. I think it was like July or something like that because he had been injured, so he didn't play a lot.
So why are we hitting him 6th? Like,
I don't know.
Don't put him in the lineup at all. God, that guy's brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the name, and you hope he gets it together, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm still rooting for him, but just in the game of life, not necessarily the game of baseball.
Totally, completely. So let's move on from that because that was just one game, and I wanted to bring that up because I know you're a Yankee fan, and I wanted to bring it up.
You owe me a couple on that one. Because I think I've taken my fair share of Raider shots. Yeah, I was probably due for that one.
Well, with that, let's move on to college football because I kind of feel like that's the next big thing here going on.
Mhm, mhm.
So, I don't know if we've ever asked this. Do you have a team, obviously besides the Bobcats, which I know that you're a big fan of, like a national team that you follow?
No, I don't. I could care less, quite frankly.
Okay.
Anyways, but I do care. Now there is some hype now, however, there is some hype, I guess, around this Boise State team. And
Oh my God, yeah, there is. Yeah.
I
So
don't know much
Boise
about it
State has probably the best running back of all time on their team right now.
of all time.
Yeah, he's on pace to break. I think it's Walter Payton or Barry Sanders, one of the two. I can't remember which one right now. Their record.
Okay, so that's worthy of looking up and doing some research on. I
He,
did see him on like some highlights, like of announcers being like, "This guy can't be stopped," like stuff like that. But like, I never really dove into it. But you're telling me this is one of the best running backs in college football. Good, he's going to win Heisman easily then.
uh, the only reason why I would say no
Oh,
is because there are good quarterbacks as well playing.
but if you're the greatest running back in college football history,
I would think he probably will.
okay,
The only reason there's two things that I think could hurt him. One, Boise State,
strength of schedule, yeah, obviously.
and two, it's a quarterback award. You have to be otherworldly to win it as any other position.
Oh yeah,
Do I think he could? Most definitely, because I think he's playing out of his mind. But I don't know if the Boise State. I don't know if Boise State can win it. If he was at Ohio State, USC, he would win it hands down. But yeah, I just don't know. But either way, Ashton Genty is playing out of his mind, playing really well for the Broncos, tearing up the blue turf and just doing amazing things. It's awesome.
cool. And there's a big matchup coming up, right? Like a sought after matchup, isn't it? Boise State versus like a top 10 school, something like that.
I don't know if they're playing a top 10 school. Let me look it up.
Oh no, Boise State, Oregon.
No, Boise State already played Oregon.
And then Oregon just haired that one, just won by a scotch, right?
Yeah, Oregon barely beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Oregon barely beat them. Their next games, they don't have any big games left. They play Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming, and Oregon State.
Okay. But there's no.
But the crazy thing about this Ashton Genty is he doesn't even necessarily play the whole game.
Really?
Yeah, there were games that they were taking him out at halftime, and he was getting like 150, 200 yards.
Well, I gotta take a look at this fella.
So if he had played the entire game, who knows where his stats would be?
Well, yeah, obviously they're doing pretty well. So, I mean, to take him out at halftime, are they undefeated? Or obviously they've been beat by Oregon.
Yeah, they're undefeated. Well, they're not undefeated. They lost to Oregon, but Oregon's number one in the country, so they're not gonna penalize them too much for losing to Oregon. And they've blown out everybody except for UNLV. Kind of gave them a scare a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow. Okay. So that's good. Well, good for that program. That program's always been surging, but it kind of took a couple steps backwards here.
It took a couple steps back for a couple of years there, but they're looking strong on the back of Ashton Genty.
Nice. Good. Love it.
Yeah.
What else in college football is it? How the Cats doing? I mean, who do they play this week? Skyview?
No, they play Sac State.
Oh, okay.
Lutheran College State. That's who they play. The over-under's 87 again.
Yep. Yeah, no, they play Sac State in Bozeman.
Okay.
So hopefully it's freezing cold in Bozeman on Saturday. Not here in Billings, but in Bozeman it can be freezing cold.
Yeah.
And
they'll probably beat those guys pretty handily, but that's a pretty competitive game for them.
Well, Sac State is so there's a lot of these teams in the Big Sky. They're good, but their record doesn't say that they're good, if you get what I'm saying.
For sure.
So, like last week, the Bobcats played Eastern Washington. Well, Eastern's only won 2 games, but they've been in almost every single game.
Well, that team can score some serious points. Like briefly, I don't follow it as heavily as you do, but I was at Old Chicago last Saturday having lunch with my wife and looked up, and it was bang, 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 bang. I don't even know what the final score was. I had to hit the over. Wish I'd have knew that.
It was insane. It ended up 42-28.
The Cats won.
Cats won 42-28.
So a lot of points. I mean, they were back and forth for the first half for sure.
Yeah, and then the second half, the Bobcats shut them down on defense. But yeah, it was crazy. And Eastern does that, especially if you're playing them in Cheney. It's just a tough place to play there, and Flagstaff for Northern Arizona is always super tough to play in.
Elevation there.
Yeah, the elevation of Flagstaff just kills players.
I actually went on a run there when I was in college, like a 2-mile run, because that's all I could go, and it was not fun.
Oh, I'm sure it's just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it was. I'll never forget it. Like, I really will never forget how weird that was to adjust to. So totally understandable. But yeah, Eastern Washington, they're always tough anyways. And don't they have like a top tier receiver, like Cooper Kupp style?
Yeah, and the Bobcats kind of shut him down.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so Sac State's only won 3 games, but they've been close in a lot of their games. So I don't know, and that's the thing with the Big Sky this year. They maybe don't have the records like, they have the Bobcats, the Grizz, and then UC Davis that is pretty good record wise.
Right.
But then you have teams, that are maybe a little bit less record wise, but you look at their schedule and it's like they're in almost every single game. So it's not like they're getting their butts kicked every single week.
Right.
They're just, for whatever reason, not able to put it together in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Playoffs, hopefully, because the Cats, where are they ranked? Number 2 behind SDSU?
Yep, they're number 2 behind SDSU. So as of right now, I should say when they win out, because they're going to, they will have home field all the way until if SDSU gets to the championship.
Got you. So where do the Grizz stand up now? Are they like last year, like they're competitive, like?
Okay, so I'm going to preface this part of the show. You are going to see a very, very biased Bobcat fan here for a second. Because the Grizz are decent. Let me put it this way. The Grizz are decent.
There, sorry.
Nice catch. I saw that. That was awesome.
Thank you.
The Grizz are decent. So I'm not going to give them that they're a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
But they have gotten so freaking lucky this year.
Oh.
Like, I don't know what it is because I haven't watched a single one of their games, but there have been a few games where they've been either behind or it's been a really close game. And then all of a sudden at the end, they're kind of blowing them out.
How many weeks until Cat Grizz?
There's 3.
3 weeks. Okay. So Brawl the Wild, it's obviously in Bozeman this year.
It's in Bozeman this year. And that game, it's literally whoever's the home team, it seems like, wins.
Okay. Yeah.
Grizz, recently.
The Grizz took care of them handily last year, didn't they?
They did. It was not a pretty game.
I recall that very much.
Yeah.
Jimmy looks great. Shoot, I saw him on a couple runs. I mean, that guy is pretty good. He reminds me of Taysom Hill.
Yeah. Taysom Hill with a little bit better arm.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
Yeah. No, I love that they're unlocking his ability to throw a little bit, and they're allowing him to still run, which he does amazingly well.
Mm-hmm.
And so no, the Grizz are a good football team. I don't think their defense this year is as stout as it's been in the past.
Okay.
So usually the Grizz are like, we are known for having smash mouth, we're going to shut you down defenses. I don't think they have this year.
Heck yeah. Well, that'll be fun to anticipate. And obviously the playoffs are right around the corner. And we'll see how the Cats really stack up. But yeah, SCU Cats national championship would be fun.
That would be fun. I'm hoping for someone else other than SDSU or NDSU, just for the Cat fan in me. But it would be a fun one down in Texas.
Well, and SDSU, I mean, are they still like an absolute wagon? Like they just rolling people still?
Not necessarily. Neither one of them are absolutely rolling people. SDSU is better than NDSU, not by much, but they are. But they're not rolling people quite as much as they were last year.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
Up for grabs, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Heck yeah. Any news in the NFL right now? Is there? I mean, outside of the Marshawn Lattimore trade to Washington football team, which is a pretty big pickup for them defensively, I think.
That is a big pickup for them. And the thing with the Commanders, I love that you call them the football team because I find that hilarious.
They will always be the Washington football team in my heart.
I know. The thing for that is they have players literally came out and said, we want to go to Washington. And so that is literally the Jalen Daniels effect, which I think is kind of cool.
Dude's a dog.
Yeah. No, he's awesome. So for big trades, because I have them all up here right now. You mentioned the Marshawn Lattimore trade. You have Tre'Davious White, an all-pro corner, was traded from the Rams to the Ravens. You have Zadarius Smith was traded from the Browns to the Lions to give them a replacement for Aiden Hutchinson, who's out all year. And then you have Mike Williams, who was traded from the Jets to the Steelers, probably just to give Herbert / Wilson another weapon.
Give old Pickens another little breathing room because, I mean, I don't know. That Steelers team's pretty good. I've said that all year. I mean, defensively, I think they're sound. I think they're going to make a run. I mean, I really kind of do. I mean, I don't have a ton of faith in Russell, but like he hasn't looked terrible throwing the ball, like a lot better than I anticipated.
Yeah, well, the thing about them is, like you said, their defense is ridiculously sound. It is every single year.
Oh, yeah.
But then they also have Mike Tomlin, who I think is the best coach in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Tomlin guy for sure. Always will be. He just always seems to be in the mix for sure.
He does. No, and I actually really like that trade that the Lions made because their offense has so many weapons that they can get in shootouts with whoever the heck they want.
Oh, yeah.
But
is so fun to watch.
If they can get a little bit of defense, which they had with Aiden Hutchinson there, but obviously he's injured, if they can get their defense just have a few stops a game, I don't know who's beating them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've I mean, one of the top 10 top teams in the NFL legitimately. I know we talked about that last year. I called that after the first game that they potentially would win the Super Bowl, and they're going to make another run. And
yeah,
great team.
I have to say, last year I was not as much on their bandwagon. I thought they'd be good. I didn't think they would be Super Bowl good. But man, oh man, they are good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would love to see a Lions, Chiefs or Lions Ravens even.
Please, dear God, give me a Lions Ravens Super Bowl.
I mean, dude,
give me a lot.
The Chiefs got D-Hop. Like he looks so nasty in that offense. He's like probably like finally a quarterback that can throw the ball to me. Kyler sure as shit couldn't. Deshaun could a little bit, but
Deshaun could. He was good with the Texans. I don't know
what's
happened to him the last few years.
Yeah, he's brutal. But Jameis, I'm a Jameis man. I love Jameis. I think he's going to be great for those guys.
See, I don't. And I'm not a Jameis hater.
See,
I like Jameis. I liked him coming out of college,
Yeah.
even though I was a Mariota fan. Like, I did like him coming out of college out of Florida State. But I just think, I don't know. I don't think he's the answer for the Browns. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the guy's, the guy is, he is what he is, and I mean, he's his own animal for sure. I mean, but yeah, at least a competitor, at least guy has a good attitude, about his team and
Yeah.
wants to succeed, So I mean, you got to root for a guy like that for sure, just with his
Oh, you do.
interviews, and I like him. I like where his head's at. So I'm hoping he has some success. I don't know who he's going to throw the ball to, but
Well, yeah, now that they got rid of Amari Cooper, I really don't know.
Yeah. Besides David Njoku, like, I mean, that Browns team went from really competitive to hopefully have a chance to. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Should have kept Baker.
Oh man, Baker looks so good. You gotta love, if you love football, if you love competing, if you just love watching sports, like how do you not love watching a guy like Baker Mayfield?
Oh, Baker Mayfield is the best. I love Baker so much.
Love it. Yeah, he's got a lot of grit, he's a competitor. Love watching him, and you just saw his look on his face when they lost the coin toss the other night against the Chiefs. Like, now Mahomes gets it.
Yeah.
Like, this one's over. Yeah.
Again, I'm going to show my bias here a little bit. Not a Chiefs fan at all. I got to wonder if there's some sort of like thing with that. Like, how do they always get the ball first at half in the overtime?
It's the top heavy coin, that they use, and they just press a button and
I'm not saying that, but like, I mean, when you go from that to Chris Collinsworth, that basically wants to make love to Patrick Mahomes every chance he can.
Patrick Mahomes, time after time, this guy is unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, it's sick, and I, as a Raiders fan, am sick of Patrick Mahomes.
We're sick of Patty Mahomes.
Yes.
Said only you, ever.
Only me. I might be the only one in the country that says that, but that's fine.
Hey, all good. All respect. Definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, we got some. I mean, there's so many things we could dive in at, and unfortunately today we're limited for time because I have a parent-teacher conference. I must go in.
Yep.
And fortunately, it's for the the kid with the best grades in the family. He gets better grades than I did. So
probably better grades than I did too. Let's be honest here.
I mean, I will say I set the bar relatively low. I'm going to be honest with you there. Okay, so I mean, the fact that he's succeeding, I'm proud of him, but we got to go to that thing. But I want to dive a little bit in on just the NHL. I mean, it's so hard. It's a little tough right now to predict. There's the good teams. There's a lot of good
pretty
teams.
Early.
The Winnipeg Jets are absolutely dominating the league. They're currently 12-1-0.
Oh my gosh.
One regulation loss, and they've played some great teams too. Like, they're not just beating the bottom of the barrel, man. I mean, they're going into people's homes and going, having, very much success. They're fast. They're lightning quick. Great game tonight. Avalanche take on the Jets. Should be a fast-paced game. I like the over. The line set at 6.5. I say lay it. Both these teams, plus the Avs, aren't spectacular in goaltending. So love the over.
Was this expected by the Jets to be so good?
They were a good team last year. They have fantastic goaltending. So Connor Hellebuck, I think he won the Conn Smythe last year, or not Conn Smythe, excuse me. I don't know, whatever the goalie award is. Anyways, he won that. I just can't think of it offhand, but I think he won that. Is it the Calder? The Calder? No, I don't know. Might be the Calder. Great goaltending, fast pace. They're just lightning fast. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they shake out. You know, they're a great team right now. So, yeah, we'll see what develops. The NHL is a hard sport, let alone a tough way to make a living. But like, man, these guys sell out. So there's so many good teams this year.
Yeah.
And there is really every year for a lot of sports, but anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Awesome. Well, hey, we will cut this short so that Tony can go live his other life that's not sports related. And we will come back sooner rather than later and be back with great sports takes.
This is just a warm up for all the cool shit that's coming. Here, I'll give you a little preview as to what's coming. That's right, baby. That's right.
Oh,
That's right, baby. I don't know. I just found that. I got home last night. I don't know what that is, but I love it. I think we need to use it. One more.
We'll find a way to use it somewhere.
You gotta agree with me on this one. That those John Gruden, like the dude John Gruden TikToks.
Oh my God, they're so funny.
They're amazing.
They're so funny. But yeah, we will be back sooner rather than later, back better than ever. And thanks for listening.
Peace out.
Maybe. There we go. All right, man.